Here we go. Vinyl Conversations. Hello, everyone. You are tuned into a special edition, an evening session of Vinyl Conversations. We are your hosts. I'm Latifa. That's Tamarisha over there. Wait, she waiting. Oh, peace sign. Peace sign today. Peace sign.
Waving only for after dark. Waving is for after dark.
Oh, okay. All right. Got to get that together. So the waving's for after dark and the peace sign is for the lot. Okay, we got it. All right. So yeah, we didn't plan to wear these shirts. If y'all are, looking at that, we like that. We like that. So, we gotta.
Just
but we didn't plan.
Represent.
It just happened.
Just in case you need to see the whole thing. California love on top of that.
All right, you guys. All right, look. So you know what this is. This is Vinyl Conversations, the home of where we talk about a specific song and the lyrics. But today, we're gonna mix it up. You know how we do. Today we got a very special guest in the house. You guys tuned in after dark last Saturday. We did soundtracks. So this just kind of segued into this particular show. So let's get the disclaimer stuff out of the way. We do not own the rights to any of this music. It's all for entertainment, educational purposes only. Facebook, do not mute us.
We do not own the rights to this music. It is for entertainment and educational purposes only. I know it's hard to see me today, guys, but I had to switch my direction. So it's going to be what it be today. Sorry.
It's all good. All right, so without further ado, well, actually, you know what? Before we do that, we're gonna do this. We're gonna bring our guests in. So without further ado, please welcome. Oh man, dancer, actor. You know him as Turbo in the 1984 movie Breaking and Breaking Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. Please welcome Michael Chambers, Boogaloo Prince.
Women. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, and you know what? My deepest apologies to you and your network. Something came up impromptu over the weekend, and it was no way in shape or form watering down the flyer that you put out. I like the graphics, and I appreciate the time and effort that you all put in making this happen. So please, I apologize again. I'm not on an ego trip. I respect you all, and thanks again for your patience with me.
Oh, look, no worries.
No worries.
We understand, how, especially, everything that's going on today. We understand.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you coming on.
Right on. What city are you guys out of?
I'm in California.
Oh, okay.
I'm in Phoenix.
Okay. What part of Phoenix? I mean, there's Phoenix, there's Glendale, there's Flagstaff. So
I'm in the city of Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The reason that I asked before COVID, I was invited to come and inspire a group of young dancers out there. I don't really know the name of the place, but I think it was a VFW that they had like a dance contest. But I was really honored that, with the whole racial situation going on in the world before COVID, there was a whole group of Latino, Native American Indians mixture that allowed me, African American, to come and teach their kids and to come and support an event. And so I really had a different perspective of Arizona's dance community, because with dance and music, we were able to cross that barrier of color lines, and so I just wanted to give that respect out to Arizona and those people. Thanks again for having support a small black dance teacher.
Listen, you're legendary, man. You shouldn't be surprised by that. Like your dancing legend has been since that first movie. So that's just what it is. Like, it really is legendary. So
thank you.
I'm not surprised at all.
The thing for me, I mean, I've always been. I was raised, from a very strong Bible mother, and she was a Bible student. And the thing is, one thing that I did learn, God gives us all gifts, and I'm very thankful that I was able to to have a gift to be able to inspire other nationalities and other people, and have them look at me beyond color. So even in the 80s, right after Alex Haley's Roots and the whole Toby and Kunta Kinte, and you got Nappy here, and da, 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 right after all that, everybody was looking at Saturday Night Fever and John Travolta, right? Then the blacks were like, okay, from Chi-Town, we got Soul Train. Then people said, okay, I'm gonna bust out with a robot. Now we're gonna do a bump. So all these black people started having really cool dances. So the other races were like, well, black people are kind of cool because they show us how to dress and they show us how to dance, right? So now I latched onto a dance style that let me not be that black guy. It let me be a darker shade of human. Now everybody in school is like, hey man, that guy's pretty cool. They didn't say the N-word. They didn't bring up the black moniker of my race. They're like, man, this is a cool human being. And it's interesting because that's why I stuck with my dance. It was my social acceptance, but also it was a way of me actually edifying the creator, because he gave me a gift and it edified him, because now as I'm dancing, I'm giving you entertainment. But guess what? At the end of the day, we're all some beautiful human beings. So I'm just glad people picked up on dance, music, and it's even bigger than me or you. The thing is, God gives us tools, and when we use them for his glory, it goes beyond where you from or what race. It's all about love. Like you said, that peace sign, it's love. It's love from a distance. We're giving music, we're giving joy. And when people receive it, they don't see color anymore. So that's one thing I'm really thrilled about. When I look back at, like you said, since the 80s till now, there's all these different shades of color of kids dancing or whatever, and they don't even know Soul Train. They don't even really know breaking sometimes. But it's generation. It's just like if somebody made a good gumbo. They eating it now, but they don't know it maybe came from your aunt or her grandma, or from Decatur or Louisiana or Baton Rouge. They just like, this is so good, so crispy. I love it. the dance style that it comes back to the roller skating days. It goes way back. And there's always a group of people who just repackage it, and put it out there, and the legacy goes on, right?
Right.
As the beat goes on.
and with you saying that, so how did you even get into breaking one? Well, how did you come across this movie?
I'll make it very short. Before breaking, we did have careers. The thing is, I went from dancing like most people, from Uncle Jam's Army in the 70s. If you got into a dance contest, whether it was a roller skating ring or something, you stood out and you had street cred because people were like, hey, that's so-and-so. So the thing is, I was always dancing wherever I could to get my name out there. And then the whole moniker of battling, when you battle, you put your skills up against another dancer and may the best man or woman win. And the crowd in that city will decide who's either going to be praised or who's going to get the gong. And so I made it a point to battle and do what I needed to do to make a statement, to build my name so strong that people were speaking about me, weeks, months after I did, a show or whatever. And so the directors and the writers told me, he said, look, when we were trying to do a movie with the best of the best, we wanted to get the best of the best coming from Cali because they were going up against New York. Harry Belafonte had a movie about break dancing called Beat Street.
Right.
And those were the best of the best in the world from the East Coast. The Rocksteady crew and the New York City Breakers, they had already done the Kennedy Honors. They did Style Wars. I mean, these guys were like ghetto superstars, but on that side. So California's producers you know, and the writers, Canon Films, they said, okay, we need the best of the best from Cali. Okay, we want to go up against New York. So they found Shabba-Doo, and it was interesting because when they found him, they originally said they wanted him to be the choreographer for the film, and he said no. He went in there and he was going to choreograph it, but when they looked at him and they seen how he looked, he was Ethiopian and Puerto Rican. So now they're like, wait a minute, we got a little Matt and Idol here, you know, a love interest for the girls, so that and then he could dance. So then they cast him as Ozone, but then they were looking for the sidekick, which was Turbo. So when we both went in there, we were already on a 9-month world tour with Lionel Richie and the Pointer Sisters. Oh. We started off. If you look back, if you go back, you will see me and Shabba-Doo and most of the breaking cast, Electro Rock, in Shaka Khan's video. Shaka Khan, I Feel For You. And then you'll see us in Lionel Richie's All Night Long. So just those 2 videos, we were existing as a group, and, you know, before the movies. And then solo, I did the Gap Band's Party Train video. When the Gap Band song Party Train, you'll see me dancing and featured in the boxing ring in Venice Beach. And then I had a couple other things, but the point is this: we were making the rounds as a group, and the group being, we were masters in our own right. Shabba-Doo, Adolfo Quinones, Anna Lollipop Sanchez, she was in the movie Thank God It's Friday with the Commodores and Donna Summers. So the thing is, this all ties into your question. How did we get the movie? It makes a lot of sense. We all had our own places, and I had my name, they had their names. So when they cast the film, which we all had to audition for, the good thing about it, from my point of view, when we did Lionel Richie's All Night Long world tour for 9 months, that was a big deal because Lionel Richie's not a dancer. So when we were featured in the show, people were like, what is this? We had our own spotlight because that was not a dance show. We were very featured with Lionel. So now the spotlight was on us. So of course, you know who got first dibs. It was Mr. Jackson. No. So while we're on that tour, Michael Jackson is writing the song "We Are the World." He's writing "We Are the World" with Lionel Richie. By the end of that tour, see where I'm going with this. So by the end of that tour, we end up on the American Music Awards with Lionel Richie, and Lionel Richie's performing All Night Long with Michael Jackson in the room with Brooke Shields and Webster, Emmanuel Lewis. And the thing is, that was a pinnacle part of all of us getting our own names, because people were like, who are those dancers with Lionel? So the thing is, when I got signed with my talent agent, Sudden Barthavanari, Von Hart, we went in for that audition because the script came through. 9 times out of 10, when you're signed with an agent in Hollywood, then the scripts come because they get their percentage. And they're the ones that agencies have that have access to the bigger jobs. So I went 0 to 60. I went from music videos to getting an agent and then auditioning for a film, and I got the part.
Wow.
No. It's very true. There was no favoritism. There was no, okay, you know what? I got connections. I'm gonna hook you up. It's straight up. I had to audition. And when we came in there, the best thing that happened is that the chemistry between myself and Adolfo was exactly what the writers were expecting, but they didn't know where they were gonna go. We had already had chemistry because we were on a whole world tour for 9 months, and we were like homeboys and homegirls. So they were like, okay, this is a movie. Because the thing is, they got drama, they got everything there. I mean, because that's what happens when you're wilding with people. You got the good and the bad, and you roll with it, right? Just like Cooley High, right? I was Pooter. I was a hip hop Pooter.
That's really awesome, and that's a really great story to be with. Any of the names that you said, that was great. When Breaking came out, I was young, but it's still one of the movies that every time it came on, you want to see it. Even sometimes you look forward to coming in to see Turbo like dance on the wall. Like, how did that happen? Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you think about the memorable parts, it's like, man, like it was Turbo and Ozone. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was that what it was. Like,
well, it's interesting that you brought that up, because that's a big deal considering where we are now with dance solos and with these great poppers and break dancers. The thing is, when that studio hired us, they hired dancers to recite lines in a movie, not like the Step It Up movies, actors trying to be dancers. No, we were the real. No disrespect to John Shue and the cast, but on the real, we were the real deal. I mean, that's how people dumped on the storyline, but they were like, wait a minute, those people were dancing and I've never seen nothing like it. The studios knew we were masters at our own art, and that if they could just put it out there, 9 times out of 10, they knew there was nobody doing what we did. So the thing is, they were hoping that we could articulate and understand how to do scenes and camera and carry the film. And so my whole thing was, my mom and dad said, you a fool. Everybody used to say, man, you know what? You can dance, but you such a fool. He's no. My comedy thing, I just love life. So, and I hated drama. So it was like, okay, you know what? If it got too serious, I'm going to say, okay, excuse me. You know what? I'm about to bust a move on you. So, I would say something to lighten the mood, because I hated drama. It's like, that was my thing. It's like, if everybody was like too tense, I'd be like, excuse me, shut up and dance. Okay. I am tired. I am so tired. Put some music on. Shut up and dance. And like, by the way, you stink. I'd be like, by the way, you stink. You need to go to Bath and Body Works now.
You are petty, sir.
What's that smell? You stink. You need to go and take a shower and go to Bath and Body Works, because I ain't trying to smell you.
Well, I will say this, breaking too had that foundation to where it's part of hip hop culture, no doubt. So if someone's playing to be into the hip hop culture or the music or anything like that, and you don't know, I'm gonna go ahead and pull your card. You know what I mean? Like, your card is being revoked because.
Hey, you know what? And that's really real. For me, I have to say, for the longest time, I never really felt validated by the hip hop black community, just because in the 90s, right after breaking, Tupac and Biggie and that whole Thuggish Rugged thing came in. So now Turbo and Ozone, we went hard. We were sellouts. We were like, oh, man, that's fine. So the thing is, no, it's very true. So we were getting clowned. I mean, people like, you know what? People really like that bad boy, that kind of hard thuggish thing. So I was like, okay, you know what? It's all good, because I'm not going to change who I am. If dancing is too soft and I'm too square, then I guess what? I need to get a day job or do something else, because I'm not trying to sell out my integrity. But that's how I felt back then. The thing that really helped me to see different is when Flavor Flav, Ice-T got together and they validated my new documentary film. Ice-T gave testimonies. Flavor Flav, Public Enemy, yeah, boy, he gave testimony. And then most recently, Mike Tyson and Eminem, they had an interview and they mentioned breaking. That was like, okay, you know what?
That's why I'm like surprised about what you're saying. I'm not saying that it didn't happen, because we all traveled in different circles, but where I'm from, where I grew up, there was no doubt about it. You guys got mad respect from us, like mad respect.
Yeah, but it's all youth. I mean, we're all from the streets, and so I had to grow into my manhood and understand my faith and understand, you know what? Haters gonna hate. People are entitled to their opinion, but at the end of the day, what I feel about myself and my relationship with God is all that matters. Because when you try to please other people, you may never be able to win, because they're just going to continue hating you. But I learned to be at peace. That comes with age. I learned to be at peace with myself and at peace with God. And once you get to that place, it's like a shield of armor. It's like whatever. Say what? It's not like Lauryn Hill. What?
So do you still watch the movies now? Like, how often do you watch those movies?
There's an echo in the background. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I don't know if it's me. I don't think it's me.
Huh?
I'm just trying to see who it is. Oh, it's not me.
No, it is. I can hear it.
Yeah.
Bring your mic up. It's on your end.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. Can I bring it up?
No, it's good now.
Is it there?
Yeah, it's fine.
Better?
Yeah.
So is it me?
Okay.
It's better now.
Oh, okay. So my question was, do you still watch those movies, and if so, how often? Like, do you like just pop them in the DVD and just reminisce on those Breaking 1 and 2?
Do I?
Yes.
Nah. And you know what? No. I'll be honest. I'm not a player, and I don't jock myself. Meaning, I know there's people like God. They're so into their fame that they're like, oh my God, I am the greatest. I've never been like that. I'm like this. On to the next. Not disrespecting my legacy or what I've done, but I feel that if somebody's gonna really relive the past, you can't move in the future. So for me, and another thing, here's something you never knew. I got a chance to meet Fred Berry from What's Happening. When I was a kid, of course I was younger than him because I was, I'm from the 80s. That's when I became a man, in the 80s, not in the 70s. The thing is, when I grew up watching What's Happening. Hey, Raj. And the thing is, when I met that man after the millennium, it kind of broke my heart because I was like, wow, years after the 70s and after the lockers, Fred Rerun Berry, even though he did movies and cameos, he still was in that rerun character. He still had suspenders, and he still had his locker hat, and he still was in that character. And I said, you know what? I never want to be that. I never want to be that kid on Venice Beach with a broom, with a tired Jerry curl, trying to redo something that's not redoable. So no, it's very true. So for the record, I don't jock myself like that. I never have. As a matter of fact, that has helped me to be more of an innovator and a creator, because I've studied people like Prince and really great artists. And once they've done one thing and it hit, on to the next. Their mind, if you're really an artist, you could develop something else to stimulate my mind. I try not to look back. The only reason I would look back at stuff is what I could do better, but not to be like, oh, wow, those are the younger days. I remember when I had a Jerry curl and I was Michael McFly. Boy, I used to wait. I used to sweep, and then there was no, that's not me. I'm not reliving the glory days of my Jerry curl.
All right, but okay, so the soundtrack on both of these movies were phenomenal. So how did that actually happen? Did you guys put any input into the soundtrack, or they just came to you and it was done?
That's a very, very interesting question, and it's thought-provoking. So, for the record, let's go back. I was on a 9-month world tour with Lionel Richie, and the studios already knew I work with Michael Jackson, and other people around us work with musical acts. So they knew we were trailblazers in the dance community and in the music industry. So the thing is, they were very interested. Russ Reagan was the owner of Polygram Records, who put the soundtrack together. And he had other people who were consultants. They were very clever because they went out to the clubs to actually put that movie together, to know exactly what a battle was, or how our life and how street dancers existed. You got to remember, this was an Israeli productions. Canon Films was not an African American or Latino production. They were Israeli. So the thing is, for them to be authentic, they had to come down from their office into our world, right? And come into the hood, and get down, right? So, I mean, back then you had Eve After Dark, You had the workshop. I think Maverick Flats was still open. There's a lot of places. No, they had a lot. Total Experience Records, Gap Band. Come on. The thing is, I mean, that's going straight. Uncle Jam's Army, the Wrecking Crew, Gardena, Nickerson Gardens, Fremont, Jordan Downs. I mean, everywhere you went in LA, somebody had someplace that you were skating. World on Wheels, the Rhodium Swap Meet. I mean, come on. Compton, Watts, everything was popping. Locke High School. The thing is, so all those places were happening, and the studios went in the hood, and they were like, okay. So of course they seen what the people were dancing to. They were listening to the soundtracks, and if you think about it, look at that one song, "Freak Show, Baby." Right. That's from the Barcades. Now we're talking funky soul, because if anybody knows anything about LA funk, you had Zapp, Roger, the Barcades. You had you had Confunction, Brothers Johnson. Hello my love. I mean, the thing is, there was a whole funk revolution. We bump the funk, Bootsy calls, yeah, but that would do, baby baba. So the thing is, when New York came into the scene, now it was like, give me what? It was that East Coast, breakdance music, right? But LA always had that funk bottom, Ohio players. So the thing is, they were very smart, because they went to the clubs, and at that time people were spinning East Coast records, and they were spinning some funk. So they grabbed that Barcade song, because that's authentic. We were dancing over here in California on this side, on the West Coast. We were dancing to funk. And then we were dancing to disco, Sister Sledge, the Jones Girls, Quincy Jones, Frankie Beverly and Mays. I mean, we were funk children. So the thing is, I'm glad that they got some of that. We were funkified before we became, the fusion with New York and the Zulu Nation and those African beats, with the congueros and all that. Back then, it was straight up funk soul, and so I'm really glad that when they put that soundtrack together, it was real, because people were like, man, that soundtrack, that's exactly that's us, and then people that went to college, they were like, oh my God, this is like totally cool. I'm like with these people, and it's like new wave. It's like, oh my God, so they had that whole new wave and that whole 80s thing. They captured everything, every single thing. And that's how people were living. If you went to college, you rubbed elbows with somebody that was like from the Valley, or somebody that was like totally Compton. Yo, Jigga, what? And the thing is, that's what made people cool. It's very true.
Yeah, because this soundtrack, it's still banging today. It's like,
but you know what I'm talking about. Right. You know what I'm talking about. To get real, you got to eat with the people. You got to wear their clothes, and you got to know, you got to find out who that person is behind the skin color. So the thing is, the door worked both ways with that, because we were kids from the street, but now we were with the higher echelon, the yuppies. You're like, totally cool, man. You can like come to the Valley and like do your thing and like pop, and like my mom will see and my dad will see like you're like cool, and that we can all like get along, A lot of those new wave kids were like hip hop versions of Bill and Ted's Keanu Reeves. They're like, whoa, this is most cool.
Wow.
They're like, yeah, man.
The way that you talk is that was so Valley. Like that just gave me a flashback right there. The way you talk.
Well, of course it did. We're like, yeah, Arizona, but like whatever. Like, yeah.
Wait, hold up, bro. I'm from San Diego. Okay. Don't play me.
That's even better. She's like totally coastal. Like, yeah.
You see the California shirt? You need to read. This is California.
California love.
Tell us what you got going on right now. Let these people know what you're working on. Do you do dance classes? What you got going on for these?
Well, you know what? Right now, I'm working on helping to help people heal. And I'll be very honest. Right now, everything that's out there is all about humanity. And you know what? Bottom line is this. Of course, with my brand, as far as, like my dance, whatever, I'd like to reach out to people and do, Zoom classes and and maybe as the COVID subsides, do some appearances and stuff. But I'm at the point right now where I want to make sure that people understand whatever instruments we have, at the end of the day, we're all human, and Jesus died for all of us. We all are beautiful in God's eyes. And so that's where I'm at right now. When I do productions or when I work with people, I want to make sure that they know that they equally are counted equally, in my eyes, because there's a higher power than myself or my career. So that's where I'm at. It's like I look for productions and I look to work with people that have children or want to inspire outside of this tension box. Everybody's fighting and so tense, but outside of the tension box with music and, respectful conversations, we could get to bridge gaps and know each other and start the healing. So that's what I'm working on. I'm making sure that I look in the mirror myself and say, okay, if everybody looks at what Turbo did or Boogaloo Shrimp is doing, and I'm just one human being, but we got millions and millions of other people that could do their part, and each of us can make a difference, but with God's help. That's the truth. No, that's the truth. So I'm working on a better me to make a better, a better presentation for any other future jobs and be a team player.
That's awesome.
That's all good. Look, so just give a brief about this documentary you have going on, because you posted.
Okay, yeah. I finally got a documentary of my career. People didn't know much of my resume, like you guys brought up. You females brought up about the breaking credit. A lot of people didn't even know I had credits before then or after. So the documentary is comprised of a little bit of the background of what I've done. It's on Amazon Prime. You can find it. It's under the Boogaloo Shrimp documentary. I finally got, after all the knockoffs and bootlegs, because I didn't have a lot of computer savvy, I finally got a Boogaloo Shrimp store. So you can look up on Facebook or you can Google the Boogaloo Shrimp store or shop, or look at my Instagram and I'll post stuff on there. And that's my official page for people who want something signed or want to help me out during this COVID and my family to buy something, that's all good. But I have a Twitter handle, Michael Boogaloo Shrimp Chambers. I got a couple dolls out there. There's a Boogaloo Shrimp Turbo doll with a broom that you can hit me up on. I'll send you all my links, because I'm selling those direct now. Hopefully after the COVID-19 subsides, I'll do more appearances. Before COVID, I was speaking at the universities, University of Santa Monica College, University of Redlands. I spoke there. I spoke at USC several times at the Thornton Music School. And so, as this COVID thing subsides, I still want to do speaking and interactive, to give a background and inspirational speaking. I have a children's book out called Aqua Boogie, which was written by me, that I'm hoping to get an investor to hopefully make a educational game based on my upbringing by the sea. And I'll send you all the links to like the stuff that I have out. But at the end of the day, other than my products, I hope everybody and their families, and this is sincere, make it through these fires and this COVID safe with God's help, and people who really believe in God, so that everybody is smiling and styling and there for their grandkids and their mom and their uncles and their aunts. And, I just really want everybody to just kind of get past this tense time and heal, but with God's help, and know that, hey, I'm there with everybody else. I'm just as humble as everybody else. We trying to survive this and get to where we need to be,
I definitely understand that. Well, listen, you got a lot of things going on. Make sure you send us all of that so that we can post it so you can get those.
I will.
And get all of that going on. And we appreciate you coming out, taking the time out to say something to us and talk to the people and let us know the story behind you.
You had to. You Latifah. I'm speaking on Latifah show, okay? So I had to, okay? This is your show. I'm a guest. I'm honored. So this is Latifah's world. So I had to come and speak on Latifah's world.
It's Tamarisha and Latifah's world.
Tamarisha, two queens and a loudmouth Boogaloo. Tamarisa and Latifah.
Tamarisa and Latifah show. I got one question before you go, and then we're gonna let you out. I asked everybody this one question before they go. The question is, when did you know that you were famous? Like, when did you know you had made it? Like, what was it? A moment? Were you touring somewhere? Were you dancing somewhere?
No.
Like, when did you know?
This is what this. Now that's a bomb question, because look, I'm obviously a mama's boy because I'm the baby of my family. So babies always get the love, right? My mom said I got hugged so much, she told everybody, you better stop doing that because he's gonna want more. More hugs, more hugs. So the thing is, that didn't come out right. No, but she said if you keep hugging him, he's gonna keep wanting like more hugs, right? So the thing is, we were a huggy kind of thing, and I was the baby, so of course I was like a little koala. I love to be hugged, right? So the thing is, so me and my mom I was stuck to my mom like glue because I was a baby. So we went everywhere together, right? I was a road dog. So the thing is, after the films, I'm going back to normal with my mom, and we're driving in my city of Wilmington, California at the time. And my mom's going, do you see what I see? I'm like, what? School had just got out, and there were a lot of kids that were black, that were turbo wannabes. They actually went to school, and they got their little wristbands, and they had their jerry curls, they had their shag, and they had their bandanas. And she goes, oh my goodness. She goes, you must have had a big effect because people were dressing like you. That's when I knew, no, but there were a lot of people who were dressing like me. And then there were some people who had told me that my dad was a very strong man, like most men from the 50s and in the 60s. The thing is, and being an African American man trying to raise his family, he didn't play around. He was like, okay, I go to work. That's what I do. Work, pay bills, and leave me alone. That's what I'm doing. And so the thing is, to him, the dance and music was this nonsense, shucking and jiving, doing a jig. So he's like, no, that's not real. So he always ignored it. Well, this is when I know I was famous. One day my dad comes home and he tells my mom, her name was Bernice, and he called her Niecy. He goes, he puts his lunch pail down. Niecy, she's like, what? What's wrong with Michael? Why is everybody talking about Michael? What's going on? She's all, while you were out ignoring your baby, he was making a difference in the world. She's all, everybody at my job was like, your son's famous. Everybody was talking about my son because they seen the movie at the theater. He goes to work, and he didn't even care about the rehearsals or nothing, right? All of his coworkers are like, hey, your son is famous. Da, 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 da. So he came home thinking I got in trouble or whatever, because he's like, what? It just threw him off. That's when I knew I was famous. Because now the grapevine got my dad. And now he's like, uh-oh. Now my dad wanted to wear Puma and Adidas, and he started to take his picture like, yeah, he's good, but I'm his daddy. I'm the man. If it wasn't for me, there would be no Boogaloo. No. So now my dad had his swagger, right? So now he went from this to Mr. Chambers. He was Mr. Chambers now. He got his Boogaloo, and we was going Boogaloo down Broadway.
That's awesome. We appreciate you coming out. Thank you. You know what I mean? And don't forget to send us all that stuff so we can get all these people to follow you and get some of that merch you got going on. And don't forget about the movie on Prime. Don't forget about the documentary on Prime, y'all. Everybody know they got Amazon Prime. Go ahead and check it out.
And you know this, Latifah.
That's Tamarisha.
And Tamarisha.
He like your name, La. He like your name. Appreciate you, boss. Have a great week. Thank you so much.
All right, you two queens. You take care. Be safe out there. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Bye. All right.
I guess I'm Latifah today. I'm Latifah today, guys. You know, we just gonna name swap.
Oh, that part. But look, we thank y'all for coming out for this evening. You know how we do a special, we do our special editions and all that stuff during the week at 6 p.m. But yeah, we got something coming up on Sunday. Just We're gonna post in a little bit, so just stay tuned. But in addition to Sunday, the 21st, stay tuned on Monday for another special
on Monday too. We got a little something coming on Sunday. It's just a little something. Don't be, you know what I mean? Just a little something. You might just want to show up. You might want to just be here for it.